Barack Obama has a three-dimensional dilemma, or as he calls it, a complication, involved in the selection of his running mate. Our third story on the countdown, Hillary Clinton as an asset with her own potential liability, her husband Bill. Last Thursday, Obama reached out to Democratic donor and ardent Hillary Clinton supporter Jill Iskell. When the conversation turned to Hillary's shot at VP, Iskell says Obama expressed concern over Bill as the second spouse. Quote, "Once you're a president, even if you're a former president, you're always a president." Complicated indeed. Obama himself knows how much power the Clintons wield in Democratic politics. Remember this from Thursday?
Learned from her as a candidate. I'm proud to call her my friend. I know that I desperately need her and Bill Clinton involved in this campaign.
Desperately. And then this from Saturday.
I have participated in and watched 10 presidential elections. Democrats have won only 3. And I happen to know very well someone who won 2 of those 3 over the last 40 years. So I think I know a little bit about how challenging it will be to win.
Liza is a political reporter at WashingtonPost.com. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Rachel.
In your estimation, is former President Clinton the biggest barrier to Senator Clinton's chances at the vice presidency?
You know, Rachel, I always feel like when you talk about Bill Clinton, he's both the best asset and the biggest sort of deficit or detraction in almost any conversation. And I think it is true when you think about Hillary Clinton and the vice presidency. I think the basic rule of thumb for picking vice presidents is, above all, do no harm. You don't want to put someone on the ticket who raises questions or complicates your message. You want someone who bolsters you, hopefully geographically, ideologically, something like that. But you also don't want to pick anyone who causes you problems. And Bill Clinton is a tremendously talented politician. He's still extremely popular in a number of segments of the party. But the reality is he is a little bit of a free agent, as we saw during his wife's campaign. He doesn't necessarily stay on message. He doesn't necessarily say the things the campaign wants to say. And so that is, I think, a problem when you're thinking about putting his wife on the ticket.
From Senator Clinton's perspective, we all know there's no real way to run for the vice presidency. But if Senator Clinton believes your analysis, if she also thinks that Bill could be a barrier to her getting the nod, is there anything that she can do about it?
No. I mean, you know, Rachel, I think if she could have sort of had Bill Clinton do exactly what she wanted during the primary, we would not likely have seen what we saw in the advance of the South Carolina primary in January. Many people within the Hillary Clinton campaign, and I say Hillary, not Bill, the Hillary Clinton world, thought they should pass on South Carolina. It was an unwinnable race. Bill Clinton really, again, with those strong Southern roots, felt like he could go down there and make a difference. He did make a difference. It was just on the negative side for his wife. So I think if you look at the arc of her campaign, it does not seem to me that she is able to say, Bill, don't do this, and yes, do this. I think he listens a lot of the time, but not all of the time.
According to the LA Times, Obama reached out to this prominent Clinton donor because he had heard that she was unhappy with how Senator Clinton was being treated. If the LA Times is right in their reporting on that, wouldn't it make matters worse in such a conversation to cite Bill as a complication?
Well, I can't imagine she's going to be an ambassador in an Obama administration. It is generally frowned upon, although I encourage it as a reporter for donors to sort of say what the presidential nominee told you or didn't tell you. Look, I think Barack Obama thought he was having a private conversation. Again, we don't know the full context of the conversation. I always am worried about sort of taking a snippet of one person's side of a conversation, but he thought he was having a private conversation. The lesson here, when you are running for president in this modern political age where everything winds up becoming public, you're never really having a private conversation.
What is the political impact of this having been leaked by Jill Iskell? How does these comments play for Obama in the election?
Well, you know, I think he's going to have to. He knows that he needs to reach out to the Clinton folks. I mean, the reality, Rachel, is that Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton are both something Barack Obama needs, but also something he has to deal with. There's the positive and the negative that I think always goes along with the Clintons. This will complicate it with some people who say, well, why are you bad-mouthing the former president of the United States? He won, 8 years of prosperity. He brought the Democratic Party back. So in some circles, it's not going to help. But the truth of the matter is those circles are the ones that were always going to be the hardest for Barack Obama to convince, because they're the most loyal to the Clintons and have been for a decade or several decades.
For them, it may be the message that they may be most amenable to may be an anti-McCain message more than a pro-Obama message.
Exactly. They may not even be reachable.
Chris Cillizza, who authors The Fix on WashingtonPost.com, thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks, Rachel.